Welcome back to another episode of the Align for Success podcast. I'm Deborah Deras, speaker, author, and mindset marketing and manifestation consultant, and your hostess with the mostest, here for another amazing episode of the Align for Success podcast and live stream. And the intention of the show is to share with you people that inspire me, my friends, my mentors, and people that are shining their light so bright that I want you to know who they are and the inner work that they do for the outer results. Because when you think of success, a lot of people think material or monetary. But for me, success is inner peace. For me, success is the freedom to travel when I want, where I want, how I want. In fact, I'm thinking for the holidays, should I go to Playa del Carmen for the whole entire month and just work from there? That is what I call success, the freedom. And so this podcast is for you to learn the strategies, the inner tools, the resources that my amazing guests have so that you too can duplicate that success. Why? Because I believe success leaves clues and I want to set you up for success. So, each and every week, you get to meet one of my amazing guests. And today is a very, very special guest that I could not wait. I kept looking at the calendar. Is it time for Tamika? Is it time for Tamika? I cannot wait to interview this woman who I've known. We were trying to figure out how long I've known her, but we can't. It's been a long time. Early 2000s, I think. But when you hear what she's up to, you are going to be so inspired. So, before we even get started, we have a saying here. You already know it at the Align for Success podcast, and that is sharing is caring. Whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or SoundCloud or Google Play, here's what you want to do you want to share it. Because what would the world be like if everybody was aligned? What does it mean to be aligned? You're in integrity with your soul. You are living out your purpose. You are in alignment with who you are supposed to be. And I am dedicated to supporting you to do this. In fact, one of the things that I created for you in this past month is a series called the Ignite Your Revenue online training series. And I have created videos on mindset, marketing, and manifestation. And you can download them all for free on my Instagram. If you go to Instagram, you could follow me. It's at Latina Speaker. You could check out those videos. And if you're interested, you can join the Ignite Your Revenue program. Super excited. I am setting you up for success, my friends. And our guest today is really going to set you up for success. And by the way, if you prefer to listen to the podcast via audio instead of video, because you like to multitask, maybe you're cleaning the dishes or making dinner right now. Some of you might be driving. Do not look at the screen. Just listen. You can listen now on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. You just go to Align for Success TV, all one word, and you'll be able to find us. Okay, without any further ado, I want to invite you to meet our special guest. And by the way, you can ask questions, you can comment. This is totally interactive. So if I see you out there, I might feature your comment. Hi, Remy, how are you? She says yes to inner peace. Oh, yeah, girl. Yes to inner peace. So we definitely want your comments. We definitely want your questions because today's guest is absolutely going to rock your world because she is Miss Tamika Lamison. She is an award winning content creator and humanitarian. She's an executive director of the Commercial Directors Diversity Program. Wow, I love it. SVP of Development and Production for PhilmCo and Executive Director of the Make a Film Foundation, a nonprofit she founded. And she clearly likes to tell stories that make a difference. And she's going to tell us about some of her upcoming projects. She is a beautiful spirit that I first met at the Agape International Spiritual Center, I think around 10 or 15 years ago. And her beautiful light is just shining. And I don't get to see her every day, but anytime I see her on Facebook, I think about her. And now you get to meet her. Please help me welcome Miss Tamika Lamison.
Hi, I am so happy to be here and to be talking to you. We're part of the Mutual Admiration Society, obviously. Your beautiful spirit at Agape was shining bright. I love
Uh,
it.
and look at, speaking of shining bright, we're both wearing sunshine yellow today. Yeah,
We didn't do
girl.
this on purpose.
We didn't plan it.
We're just aligned in the success of our outfits.
We must be aligned. And it's kind of a cloudy day in LA. I'm like, let me bring the sunshine, right?
Exactly.
It's funny. It's like I used to have friends when you would go to a party and they'd be like, "Well, who's going to be there?" It's like you're if you go to the party, you bring the light. And that's what you do in this world. When I
Oh,
made my ideal guest list and I thought about success, you were top of the list, girl. I was like, I'm like, I hope she has time. Would she say yes to me? And I kind of resisted asking you because I just see how busy you are. I'm like, oh, will she be able? And the fact that you said yes and that you're able to share with us everything you do, I just want to say thank you.
well, you're welcome. And of course, I would say yes. I can't imagine anybody saying no to you, but I mean, but I'm not going to say no because I want to be wherever you are doing whatever you're doing.
Uh,
You're amazing. I mean, I do. I watch you. I see you on Facebook. I see everything you're doing. I support you. Whenever I can, I send you love. I'm like, look at her, that empowering woman just kicking stuff.
And that's the wonderful part about the community we come from, the spiritual community, because when we see somebody that's successful, we never think, oh, well, then I can't have that because we
Right.
live in a world of infinite abundance. And I'd love for people to hear about your story of how you got into the entertainment industry and some of the obstacles you had to overcome to be where you are now.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where to start, but I will also say, I love that you said living in with infinite abundance because I also would add infinite possibilities because that's a place that helps me to remain hopeful and to always know that I could create something new or be successful because it's never, you can always create another possibility no matter what you're doing. And that really is something that I guess we'll get to that, but spiritually, that's something that keeps me going and keeps me creating and keeps me hopeful.
I
So,
love that you said that my last guest, that was what she said that she loved about the American culture. She's from Italy. She says that
mhm.
she noticed that Americans live in possibility. And my tagline for my business is with the power of synergy, anything is possible. So how was it
Uh,
possible for you to be a director and a producer and an actress and to be constantly working and successful? Tell us.
Yeah, it's I started out acting. I was I auditioned for The Wizard of Oz when I was like 6 or 7 with my brother. I wasn't the best singer, but I the acting bug bit me, and everything sort of started from there. And then I was writing a lot, and so when I was in college. I studied acting, but it was always the writing that was also calling to me because I felt like writing was gave you power. I felt more empowered when I was writing because then I could write something for myself to perform in that I felt had levels as a character. I could write material for other people, and then that led to producing and directing on various levels. When I was in New York, I was mostly just acting and writing. But it's actually writing which brought me to LA because I wrote this screenplay, The Jar by the Door, which won the Gordon Parks Independent Award and $10,000. And that sent me to LA and started my career really in writing and all that. I have a quick Hollywood story about that. I sold that script for 6 figures. That script, and I tell this story because it became, I made lemon out of lemonade lemonade out of lemon. There we go, lemon. But you can make lemons too.
You
I'm
can
like,
make a lemon teeny.
no, that's just like, that's up leveling it.
That's
Thank
where
you.
I go.
I think I'm going to use that. But I sold the script for six figures, and then the check was bad. That's Hollywood. But it sent me on this whole journey
The
where I
check
ended
was
up,
what? Bad?
it was bad.
Oh,
Yes. I know. But it was a spiritual
right.
lesson. I wouldn't change anything. It's so weird to say that because it was a six-figure check. I was going to direct it. I was going to produce it. It was like the perfect scenario. But when it didn't happen, I ended up just regrouping and thinking I want to do more with my life than just sell a script or make a movie. I really want to use my purpose, my passion, my filmmaking skills to make a difference. All of that stuff. So someone I started like volunteering, teaching theater, teaching screenwriting, all of that kind of stuff, nonprofits around LA. And then somebody asked me if I could do anything, what would I do? And I said, aside from filmmaking, I grant wishes to kids in the Make a Wish Foundation. That's when I decided
Ah.
to combine my passion for filmmaking with sort of the Make a Wish model. And I created Make a Film Foundation, which grants film wishes to kids who are seriously ill or terminally ill. We
Oh,
team
how
them with like famous people,
beautiful.
yeah, and do that. So
Can we donate to that?
you can donate to that.
Oh,
Yes,
that's so awesome. I love
that's
that.
amazing.
Let me put up the website for that. So
Okay.
you made lemon, you took a lemon and then you made a lemon teeny and then you realized
Yes.
that things had to have purpose. And it's so
Yes.
important because
Yes.
when you think about a lot, I love biographies, as I told you. I'm always reading and watching because when you think about success, success leaves clues. And when you
Yeah.
hear people going after the money, they're always empty
Right.
because that's not what brings happiness, right? And they end up drugs or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you go after purpose and meaning, it's like Maslow's
Yep.
hierarchy of needs, that self
So true.
actualization is never about a thing, it's always about purpose.
It is. Yep. It is. And when this dream actually started to fulfill itself, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I actually didn't have a job when we actually created our very first film with, like, I think Kerry Washington was in it, Michael Ealy, Rodrigo
Michael
Garcia.
Ealy.
Yes.
I love Michael
Michael
Ealy.
Ealy.
Okay. All right.
We did that at the same time.
Oh my God. We're so
I
like,
know. Shout out to
don't
Michael
mention
Ealy.
Michael Ealy. Okay, go on.
Respectfully.
Yes, of course.
And Rodrigo Garcia directed it. Well, we did that film. I literally I think I was on unemployment. I didn't have any money, but it was one of the most magical, happiest times of my life. And I remember it specifically because I was like, I can't believe I'm so happy and fulfilled in this moment when
Right.
I don't have a job. But I was fulfilling my purpose. And I was also fulfilling someone else's dream at the same time, and sort of giving some purpose, or I would say not giving, but allowing purpose for other people who are contributing to
Mhm.
that uh, that particular film and that particular program, and that kid who was creating his film. It was amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, and I love how you make that distinction of giving and allowing, right?
right,
Because allowing is like a feminine receptive state, right?
yeah,
And allowing is also receiving flow.
right,
How do you or how do you it's like a process, right? Our
yeah,
journey of alignment. It's not like one day you're aligned and you're good. You're like, "Okay, I got the
exactly,
alignment pill. Now I'm good. Everything's flowing in my life." No, it's a journey and a process, and that's why I always like to ask my guests about their practices and the
hmm,
inner work that you do to align because it seems like so natural for you and people will be like, "Oh, that's just her personality. She's just positive." But no, right? You do
no.
inner work to get this way. Can you let them know what you do to be in this positive state?
It's a constant. I mean, there's it's never done. You're always it's a constant. But I definitely do some meditation, and that can look like a lot of things. Like one of the ways that there's obviously what we would call traditional meditation, and I do that sometimes. But I have also taken to just listening to my music on my earbuds, and taking a long walk or riding my bike, and it is so meditational. It centers me. It just reinvigorates me. I was going to say inspires, but it reinvigorates me on a spiritual level. So that's one thing. I also really try and remember, and I have to keep talking to myself. It's almost
Mhm.
like, I mean, there's a thing where you in the Bible it says 70 times 7, forgive
Right.
someone 70 times 7, right? But I feel like you have to do that with other things in your life. And I'm not just forgiveness, but yes, forgiveness. But I have to 70 times 7 remind myself that I can create a new possibility. 70 times 7 remind myself that if it didn't happen, it wasn't mine. It wasn't meant for me.
Exactly.
Nothing else could happen other than what did happen.
Right.
Literally, like I remind myself of that, and it brings me peace and allows me to continue to, oh, well, that wasn't mine, that was someone else's blessing. And I really do believe that, especially when you are giving your passion. You have to continue to give your passion, give your all of that stuff, and not be a perfectionist. Well, I won't say
Uh,
don't be a perfectionist. I will say, because it's not about not being a perfectionist. It's about being healthy, and wherever you are, making that a healthy choice, right? So I know that I'm a perfectionist, and that's okay, but choosing to allow myself the healthy ways of being within the context of being a perfectionist. So forgiving myself, allowing myself to allowing things to be perfect, even if they're not how I envisioned them or not how
mm,
I would have done them. They're
right.
perfect. So it doesn't change that I'm a perfectionist. I feel like I'm a perfectionist. It just changed how I view that, so that I'm easier on myself, and it's healthier, and I'm kind to myself
Right.
in the way that I'm kind to other people.
And you're allowing the grace and the creativity to
Yes,
unfold, right?
exactly. Not getting in the way of it, right?
Right. I wanna write down and underline what you said. I'm taking notes in the comments. You said that if something didn't work out, then it wasn't for you, and then you have peace around that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
love that. I was just telling someone today, not in the area of business, but in the area of like more relationships. And I
Yeah.
was saying, all rejection is divine protection. I was telling her that was my higher self. My
I
lower self was
love
saying something else. My ego, that's not my ego, is like, who does he think he is? Doesn't he know how fantastic I am? But my higher self was like, you know, and when you truly believe that, it's exactly what you said, just a different way of saying it. It's
Yeah.
because what is for you will be for you. And
Yep.
because your industry, I can't even imagine. It just seems kind of competitive and sometimes cutthroat, right? I
Yes.
would guess,
Yeah.
that
It's all those
people will
things.
do whatever if they're not even, spiritually conscious and awakened and aligned, they could be probably you have to be the higher aligned person to protect yourself from that,
Yes,
right?
and that goes to something you said. It's very important to remember who you really are, to remember
Ooh.
who you really are, right? And to be that person, because that's where your integrity is. And
Ah.
in this business, to me, if you remember who you are and you're always integrity, it really doesn't matter what's happening outside. Doesn't matter what's
Mm.
happening, it just doesn't matter, because you know that you spiritually are in integrity. It's hard to for people to get, because it's like, but I want the things. I want all the things and I don't care about them. Like, look, I want all the things too, but the thing that is most important, that I do feel like will attract all the things, is if you stay in integrity with yourself
It's
and the people
and
around you.
and staying in integrity is a key to alignment.
It
Because and
is.
I have to tell myself, not all business is good business. And if something is not in integrity with my soul, I
Yeah.
have to say no to it, and when I don't, I regret it. I was like, "See,
Yeah.
girl, you wanted
Every
that
time.
money every time,
Every
right,
time.
Tamika?"
Every time. I'm gonna choose a quick story. I said yes
Sure.
to a project. It was a writing project, and I kept trying to. I kept trying to make the project a little more have some social impact. I was trying to, up level the project a little bit socially with some social concept conscious, but they didn't want that. They're like, we want more. Can we put more TNA in there? It's like, okay, you know what,
Amina.
Tamika, you brought this on yourself because you said you're just gonna make some money. I said, you know what? You're never doing that again. It's almost
Right.
like I use the analogy of when I was waiting tables in New York. When I was waiting tables, and the place I did not agree with their habits and their practices as the food was concerned. And I said, I will never eat at this place. And I
Right.
said, you know what? I'm never going to wait tables at a place that I wouldn't eat at, and I should never write for a show that I wouldn't watch
Oh,
myself.
that's good. That's good.
you know?
I
So
love it. And
that's my
everyone,
litmus
take
test.
notes on this because what you need to do, or what she's inviting you to consider, you don't need to do anything, but
Right, right.
what Jamaica's inviting you to consider is to make your list of what is not in alignment for you. Because
Exactly.
the whole purpose of the show is to save you time and energy and anguish and to learn from our mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Because
that goes to
every
being
single
integrity.
time it doesn't fail where it's like,
Exactly. At that point, yeah, I was like, you're not integrity with yourself because you just said you're gonna get paid. And I was like, I could have done without that extra few thousand.
yeah,
I mean, it's
and
easy
the
to say
money will come in other ways
in
because
other ways.
as I tell myself, as I say no to what is not for me, I
Yeah.
leave room to say yes to what is in alignment and it is for the good of my soul. And then
Yeah.
everybody wins. It's a win 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 win.
And it's hard to see, saying that in a time when people are struggling and all that. I totally get
True.
it. I understand. There's really no judgment. You all
No.
do what is right for you. Do what is, there's nothing wrong with pure entertainment. Okay.
Right.
Nothing at all. So, and but that was went a little further than I wanted to go. That's all.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think a theme that you keep mentioning over and over again is success is freedom of judgment. Because
Yeah.
you can't progress in your career if you're constantly judging yourself for a
Yeah.
standard of perfection that can be impossible to ever really achieve. So
Yep.
you can only just do your best, right?
Yes, and you know what? That's true in life, and it's true in life. It's true in dating. It's this thought, this need that we have. Well, I'll say that I have, and that I see in the world for people to be perfect and can't make a mistake and can't have grace or be forgiven or any of that stuff. First start with yourself, but definitely I think extend that to other people as well.
Oh, like the cancel culture. Is that what
Right.
you mean? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about the cancer culture, but we can add that in because if someone did something 20 years ago, but they've
Right.
grown and changed, can we give them the space to at least say, and we can also see by the things that they've done if they've grown and changed, right? It's one
Right.
thing if you did something crazy and you continued that behavior, right?
Mhm.
That's different. But I'm sure we've all done something that we don't want somebody to dig up and say,
Of
this
course.
one thing is representative of your entire life and career.
Yeah, I just see it a lot in the entertainment industry where
Yeah.
certain actors or comedians are being penalized for something they wrote on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous. It's crazy.
I think we should allow people to have a space to apologize and
Right.
to make amends and all of that. But I think the thing is, in the world that we're in, we want to make sure that people really, well, do they mean it? Has the
Right.
behavior changed? Because we do know, wow, we're getting way always in a way, but it's the behavior that needs to change. An apology is empty if the behavior doesn't change. One thing that my brother used to say, I hated it, but he used to say this. He's like, you know what? Don't be sorry. Just be careful. And I'm like, that makes sense. But you could do that. You could say that with a little more grace. You could
Oh,
say,
that's
I
funny.
accept your apology and maybe, be careful the next time. But he's like, don't be sorry. Just be careful.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Well, let's get into some of the body of your work. I understand that you produced the film Ferguson Rises, which is now on the festival circuit and won the audience award at Tribeca.
Yes.
Girl, tell us about it.
Thank you. I was one of the producers with some other people. It was directed by Mobalaji Olamewanu, who worked on it for like 6 or 7 years. And it's really a different perspective on the Mike Brown story. And it's kind of coming from the perspective of the father, his pain, his healing, and the healing of the community, all of the community. And you get to see just a whole different uh, balanced perspective, but the new, because it's from the father's perspective. So we're really, really happy to see that people are getting a chance to see this film and that it's touching them. And it's going to actually have a theatrical release at the end of September at the Lemley in Santa Monica. So we're super
That's right by
excited about that.
me. Ooh.
Yes,
Let
maybe we
me
can go
know.
together.
I would love to go with you.
Yes, let me know, because I actually
Yes.
haven't seen it in a full theater yet with other people, and I would love to see it in a theater with people, a real
Right,
theater.
to see the reactions and
Exactly.
emotions.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think the last movie I saw there was Heel, when Reverend Michael was in Heel. Remember that movie?
Oh, that
Yeah, with
that was a while ago,
I know
right?
that was a long time. I
Yeah.
have not been to a movie in a long time.
Okay.
Oh,
Only
that
Deborah can get me talking about all the controversial politics and how did you pull that stuff out? I'm like, oh my gosh, who's gonna be hearing this? I'm just kidding.
it's all in divine order. It's all in divine order. Yeah. Um, so I mean, it's just so exciting to have a film coming out, and it's such an interesting time to have films come out because I heard like the Aretha Franklin film like didn't do as well as expected because they did it in the theaters rather than
Right.
having release. It's like challenging right now because we don't know what numbers are with COVID from week to week. It's a weird time to
Exactly.
be in your industry in promoting movies. I
It
mean,
really is. I think the model now where they're releasing it in theaters and releasing it
yeah, that's
is
better.
probably a good one, because people who just want the feeling of going out to a theater can have that. And
Right.
then people can also just watch it at home and feel safe and comfortable. So I think maybe doing both until we're really done with COVID is the way to go.
Exactly. I saw Wonder Woman at home, which I don't know if it was the best idea. Might have been more paying more attention in the theater, or I don't know. But then I saw Cruella in the theater, and I was like, "Oh my god, that soundtrack! The soundtrack is
Yes. The
good."
soundtrack is amazing. Now, I, on the other hand, saw Cruella. I convinced my mom. She created like a big, huge screen theater workout room, and so we
Nice.
watched it together at home in Virginia.
Oh, nice. I watched it with
It
my
was,
mom too.
did you?
Yeah.
That was so cool.
I know, I know. But that's not all. You have more projects. There's also the series that I think everybody has heard about called Monogamy. Tell us. It's so fascinating. I love it.
I
And then our girl Karen Ward is in it.
Yes, Karen Ward Ross is in it. Her
Oh, Ross.
husband created the
Yeah.
series, and they, exec produce it together, and she stars in it, and she's actually quite fantastic. The third season premieres on Tuesday, September 2nd. I hope I'm getting that right, but September 2nd, and everyone had to wait like a whole year during COVID because they couldn't shoot. So
Oh,
finally they were able to shoot. So people have been waiting for this third season to launch for like over a year. So it's so exciting. And it's about relationships. It's about black married couples who are having issues, and they decide to do an experiment where they swap.
ooh
And
la la. That's kind of racy. Wow.
hijinks ensue.
Oh, I didn't know that's what it was about. How interesting.
It's really cool. There's some really great characters. The actors are wonderful. I really enjoyed helping to create these characters and these relationships, and it's fun. It's got some humor in it. So
And
yeah.
you're directing it?
No, no. Craig Ross directs it, and I'm a writer on the show and a supervising producer. Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, it's just like, and where can we watch that show?
You can watch it on All Black, which is on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
So
on
it's the All
Amazon
Black
Prime.
channel. Yeah,
Oh, very
Amazon Prime.
cool. So it's
Yeah.
totally free. Everyone can just, because we
Well,
all
you
have
have
Amazon
Amazon
Prime.
Prime. I think you have to, I'm not sure, maybe you have to pay like $4 or $5, but they have a trial. So, but I guarantee you, if you do the trial, you will binge the 3 seasons. It's like 6 episodes per season. And so anybody who goes in, they're like, why'd you do that? I binged the whole season in like 2 nights.
And it's called the All Black Channel.
All Black channel. Yes.
Oh
All
my
Black.
gosh. I don't know what show
ALLBLK.
it was that I binged, but it was something about relationships. And it was so compelling.
Yeah.
After Bridgerton. I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of like that level. Oh,
Bridgerton.
wasn't that good? I know,
I'm
girl.
just gonna say that I rewatched episode 5 several times, and that's
who
all I'm gonna
who
say.
hasn't? Who hasn't rewatched episode 5? I think
Oh my!
Remy was the one that told me about episode 5. I'm like, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
put it on
whoa.
my mom's in her queue because I load stuff for my parents to watch for Netflix. I put it there. I was like, Mom, you really need to see that. I can't watch it with you because there's some stuff in it, but you should watch it.
I know I had my mom watch it too. I'm like, Mom, did you like it? Yes, I did. I'm like,
That's
good.
like,
I'm glad.
it's like touch and go. Like I was watching Insecure and my dad walked in. One moment, it was fine. It was funny.
Right.
It was cool. Next minute, I was like, oh my God. There's like stuff, sexual stuff happening. My dad was like, oh, I'll be in the other. I was like, oh no, Insecure. You
I
did me
there the
in.
third season I heard is coming out of Insecure, and I love Insecure. Reminds me so much of my life. I'm like, oh, that's where I used to live, and that's around the corner. There's the Jamaican patty place. I'm just like, I love
But
it.
this is the last season, sad. I'm so
I
sad.
know. I know. I hope it's
But
good. I
on
hope it's
better,
good.
bigger, better things for Issa
Oh
Rae.
wow, good for
Yeah,
her. Good
yes.
for her.
Who, by the way, I'm gonna just put it out there. Her real name, she gonna hate. Maybe she won't. Her real name is Joisa.
Oh really, Joe
Yes,
Issa. So
I used
Issa
to.
is like a nickname.
So Issa Rae is the nickname. Joisa was her real name. I hired her. We worked together. I was running a exhibit called America I Am. It was a Tavis Smiley exhibit that went all over the country. 500 years of African American and American history, and she was one of my docents. And the funny thing is, she would always like be on her phone, and I was like, Joisa, I don't mind if you're on your phone. Can you just step behind the thing so the patrons
Right.
don't see you? Right. Had I known she was creating a flipping multi-million-dollar industry, I would have been
She's
like,
like
girl,
editing awkward black girl, on her
right?
phone.
I was like, girl, do whatever you need to do. Do what you gotta do.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So there's so many projects that you're working on. I mean, is there any one that shines brighter than the others or that you're really excited about?
That's right. So. Well, I will say there's a feature film that I produced and star in. I get back to my acting roots. That was written and directed by Michael Philip Edwards, who also co-stars with me. That was just released on Tubi TV. Tubi TV is free, and it will also be released on Amazon Prime. It's called Last Life, and it's about past lives. It's about last lives, past lives, and healing, and it has a little bit of a racial twist. So it's really profound, and I was really super excited for that project to be the project that sort of brought me back to my acting roots because I felt like it was a very, very worthy project.
Oh my God. My mom is anything about past lives, my mom and I, we love.
Oh,
Yeah.
I cannot
Yeah.
wait for you to see it. I We have to talk after you watch it.
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Maybe we
for
can watch
sure.
it together.
And it's free,
Um,
everybody. You can see it on Tubi TV. They have commercials, which makes it free. But if you watch it on Amazon Prime, no commercials. So pick
okay.
your poison.
So we can watch Last Life on Amazon Prime as well.
Yes, but it won't be on Amazon Prime for another week or two, but it's on Tubi TV now.
So, because of the pandemic and more people binge watching television, has this
Mhm.
made your career and your business thrive even more than usual?
So in a way, I would say yes, in a way. Like development never stopped during COVID. Even though people were it just development was actually exploded because that's what
Right.
you can do: read scripts, make deals, all of that kind of stuff. So um, So I would say, in a way, yes, it's just changing, right? So like actors have to self tape a lot more, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just and sometimes people have to direct remotely, and so there's so many
Oh, wow.
different thing changes in the industry. But I do think that more channels are popping up, more opportunities to content create where it can actually land somewhere, because people are desperate for material, new material, for their channels and for their, and so yeah.
Yeah, because
And
we watched all of Netflix
oh
during
yeah, we
I
watched
never,
everything.
Tamika, before these 18 months of quarantining, and I mean, I never really watched TV. I didn't even turn it on, and then I'm like, "Well, what's going on? What's with this
Mhm.
Hulu thing?" I started watching Hulu. I'm like,
I know. It's so hard too, because I like unique, odd, different things, and I'll just out myself. I even watched Game of Thrones. I was that person who was like one of the last people in the world to
I've
watch
never
Game of
watched Game of
Thrones.
Thrones. I am the last person. I have
It's
not.
so good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was on my list. I watched the whole season, like the first maybe 3 weeks of that we went into this shutdown, and I was like, oh, now this is why everybody's, because it's like everybody has mixed little comments. It's like in the zeitgeist, right? So I felt
Right.
like I should watch it as a writer.
Right. I love it. You are so, to me, and I'm sure it's true to everybody else, super courageous,
Oh,
fearless, confident. Do you have any advice? I get a lot of people that are listening to the show and they say to me, Deborah, I suffer from the imposter syndrome and, I have these passions and I know I want to make a difference in the world, kind of like your foundation, but they're holding themselves back. Is there any words of wisdom you have for them to be able to go for their goals?
that's so interesting, and thank you, and I appreciate you saying that. But I, of course, I have fears, and one of my things for myself is uh not to let my own fears get in the way. Like, I never say no to something out of fear, or really, I say never say no to something out of fear of finances. There's so many instances where, I talked myself out of something because it was, money that I thought I didn't have. I mean, if it's something important, like a place that you need to go to be, Sunday, whatever it is, just make it happen. Get the money, make it happen, because you know what you regret. You 100% you regret the things that you didn't do, or the places you didn't go. You won't regret money is energy. It's going to come and it's going to go. You're not gonna, the $2,000, the $500, the whatever it is, right? Don't let that stand in the way of something that's really important to you. An experience, I should say, an experience, because you will always have that experience, but money comes and goes. And then when it comes to fear, fear never goes away. It just doesn't. It's, you just, I talk to myself. I always am talking to myself, and it's a constant. And I say, do you not want to do this because of fear? Really talk to your inner person, and know what's the worst thing that's gonna happen. Somebody says no. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You write a bad script. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're not good at that particular thing. So what, right? It's okay. You get better. The only way you're gonna get better, the only way that you're going to start to feel more comfortable to step out, is when you talk yourself off the ledge
Yes.
of fear and just do it.
Right.
Right.
I think that's such an important point because it's not that you, as a confident person, don't have fear. You do have fear, but your self-talk is always going to choose the experience, right?
Yeah.
And the infinite possibilities. During the
Yes.
quarantine, I had an opportunity because all my gyms were closed. I couldn't do my hot yoga or my salsa samba because I sprained my ankle. So I started doing like paddleboard yoga, and then I
I
joined like a.
saw you on Instagram. I was like, wow.
And when I first started, I was like, "What am I doing out here? I don't know how to paddleboard, and I'm not." the best at yoga. Why am I doing this? And then I was like, for the experience. And the
For the
first time I
experience.
totally sucked at paddleboard. I didn't even know you were supposed to put the paddle like deeper in the water. I was just skimming the surf. I'm like, why am I not going anywhere? I feel like Moana, but I'm not going anywhere. And it's the willingness, what I've learned from you and people like you in our spiritual community that is based on infinite possibilities, is the only way to grow is to put yourself in that situation, even when you're around everyone that's better than you. I'd always feel like when I would go to samba class or when I would go anywhere, I'm the worst one. Oh well, you have to
Exactly.
start somewhere, right?
And discomfort, that's where I have always expanded when I did something that I was a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit afraid. I never regretted doing that, and I always grew from it, and I got something from it. And so that's when it's like a muscle that you keep sort of exercising. And if you exercise that muscle, you'll know that it's okay. It'll help you to know that it's okay. The fear will come up and you're like, but I know that it's going to be okay. I'm just going to do this thing. I'm going to stand up for myself. I mean, you can put it in so many contexts, not just the entertainment business. I mean, ask for the raise, stand up for yourself, have the uncomfortable conversation. And
Mm.
this is, I mean, really, I've had to grow and learn this because yes, I've been in situations where I should have had a conversation that I didn't have for several years.
Mm. Me
Like,
too, girl. Me too, girl.
it's like, honey, just have this
Yeah.
conversation. But it's helped me because now I know you just have to, do it. It's uncomfortable. It's going to be okay. And every time I have done it, I want to say every time you do it because, but you is, I can't talk for everyone, but every time I've done it, I have felt so much better. And I've been like, oh my gosh, what were you tripping about?
Yeah, me
Me
too.
too.
But it's such a wonderful point that we can end on is Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of my, spiritual teachers, says that change and transformation can only happen in discomfort. The comfort zone is stagnation. When we're
Yes.
uncomfortable, that's transformation. And that's how we align for success.
Right. That's the butterfly. Mm.
Ooh
I'm
la la, right? Because the little caterpillar in the cocoon is, give me a bigger cocoon. I want a
right?
bigger
Oh,
cocoon.
this sucks.
I know.
And you
Can't I
have to
just get
go
a bigger
through
condo? No.
that.
Fly your wings, right?
Yes, you got to
I
go
love
through
it.
it to get to the other side.
I love it. And we all want to fly with you and follow you and support you, not only on the Ferguson Project, on the Monogamy Project, on All Black Channel, Amazon Prime, on the Last Life Project, that's also on Amazon Prime, or Tubi, if you want to go for Tubi, Tubi. Ooh, I remember your work. Oh my gosh. Very good, very good. How can we stay in touch with you?
So you can definitely hit me up on Instagram, BAOBABT. So it's like the baobab tree, the tree of life. I was trying to be cool. I really should have just had my name
Ah.
up there so people could find me.
B
But
Okay, BAO, but if we type your name, I'm sure it'll come up.
it'll come up.
BAO
Yeah, BAOBABT
AAB, Tree of
Instagram.
Life.
And then I'm on Facebook for, people who are, you know, I still do Facebook. I'm not even gonna say anything. I
I
still
know.
do it.
Me too. It's
So,
my it's my entertainment when I don't watch TV. I'm like, "Okay, what are you doing?" "Oh, you're bike riding. Great."
right?
I don't know,
Just
you had
do
some
it.
sort of injury, and I was, like, so concerned, like, "Is she okay? What
Oh,
happened?"
did
Right?
you see the big thing on my
Yeah.
forehead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I crashed and burned on my bike. I had a big old knot on my forehead. I looked like I looked crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Yes,
like, I prefer Facebook to TV. I wanna have the characters of my friends and what's happening in their lives. What are they doing?
I love
And
it.
I love that you do walking and bike riding meditations, because so do I. I'm not a sit still kind of meditator. I'm moving meditation, so that's totally possible. So please,
Yeah.
everyone, make sure you follow Tamika on Instagram. Also, if you feel like donating to the Make a Film Foundation, it benefits children with
Yes, terminally ill or seriously ill kids who want to make a film. So there you go.
oh, they get their dream to make a film.
They make a film. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we've
God,
had some
that's
pretty amazing people. This is the only time I ever name drop, okay? We've had some amazing people donate their time and like star in these films with these kids. I mean, I did name drop a little with Kerry Washington and Michael Ealy, but like J.K. Simmons, Laura Dern, Johnny Depp. We have some crazy people who donate
wow.
their time. It's awesome.
I love it. And thank
Yeah.
you for your time being here on the Align for Success podcast. I'm so grateful that you
Thank
joined
you.
us.
It was so much fun. I'm
I
so
know,
glad. I
right?
mean, have
It's
me back and we need to hang out. Let's go see
yes,
a
I will
movie or
have you
something.
back if you ever want to go bike riding. I have 2 bikes. I'm
Yes,
ready to roll. And
for
helmet.
sure.
And helmet. And thank you all for tuning in for another episode of the Align for Success podcast. Isn't Tamika awesome? I told you you were going to love her. Now make sure you support her. We have to support each other. That's what aligning for success is. We're not competing with each other. We're collaborating. We know that there's enough for everyone because there's an abundance of possibilities, like Tamika taught us. So I would love it if you join us each and every week. We're going to have another amazing podcast next week, live streaming right here on Facebook, on YouTube. Deborah Deras, 6:15 p.m. Pacific time. And remember also to follow me on Instagram and YouTube. You can download the free videos on mindset, marketing, and manifestation. It's the first link that you can grab. You'll get one mindset today and then the marketing and manifestation tomorrow because it is my life purpose, my soul's contract to help you with the inner work, but also the mindset work, the marketing strategy, and to manifest with ease and grace. Okay. So remember, with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Ciao.